name is Linh and my co-host is
Edward Thomas.
And our final guest for today is
Mikael Rundström.
Hey, Mikael.
Hey, Mikael.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Thank you.
We kidnapped you. We want to give you bread and water for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, poor guy.
You see all the scars
Exactly.
Beaten up.
that have beat me up.
Well, the rats nibble on
Being
you
a
too.
dark.
Oh my gosh.
Because you're so juicy. You know?
Yeah.
So today,
they
friends.
cut off my finger. These rats.
Today, friends, is another episode for our real life story. Number 2, I guess.
Oh, I don't know how many we have. We have a lot.
Well, this one is more, we can call this episode Real Life Story 2.
Okay, we'll call it Real Life Story 2.
And you guys are maybe really excited. What is
I
that
know.
real life story about?
Please tell me.
And I think I love this kind of episodes, though, where we can take something that actually happened to us recently and bring it here in this forum and just talk about it. And
Tear it apart.
Tear it apart. Analyze it till it's dead.
Well, I just thought we'd just make fun of it like we normally
No,
do. But
not.
okay.
I mean, the last story wasn't really fun.
It wasn't fun.
Well, it wasn't fun in the sense of what happened to her.
No.
With the lady.
No,
yeah.
it wasn't.
But make fun of the guy was fun.
And this is a lady again.
So then again, I feel for the underdog ladies. I'm sorry.
Okay, wow.
Because I blame all men for all the problems in the world. No.
Whoa,
I
you
don't.
know.
No. Just joking. But
Sorry.
you guys can judge for yourself.
Yes.
I try to tell it as neutral as I got it, I guess. So it starts when me and my daughter, we went to a birthday party of one of her classmates, and because it's Corona now, so the parents from the birthday kid only invited the older kids, even though they're like the younger siblings in the group.
Right.
So I met this one parent, and I asked her, "Oh, well, your son is here. Where's the other son, the younger one? Is he with his dad?" And she was like, "Oh no, actually, we separated like some time ago, and he is with someone else that she has to take care of because it's her week." In Sweden, you have like every other week most of the time. That
If you have a divorce and stuff like that.
yeah, if you're separated or divorced, you have your kid 1 week, and the other half, the kid has to live with the other parent. But usually go to
Keeping
the
it
same
even.
school and stuff like that. So I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you separated on good terms." And then she's like, "No, we didn't." She said that she wanted to separate, but he didn't. And
wow.
she was explaining a bit more that, she felt like she didn't love him anymore, or that there wasn't really love between them anymore. It was more like living with a friend or with a...
Because that's a really bad thing.
Well, I also told her, like, well, it's good to be friends, though, isn't it? And she's like, yes, but no, it wasn't. It was really bad in the end. And I'm like, I'm so sorry to hear. Because I also felt like, well, I can't judge you for anything because I'm not in the situation. I don't know how she had it. I don't know what guy it's whatever. And I asked her, like, if it had been going on for a long time, like for them to separate. Because last year I was in their house when their son's birthday was, and they had a house together, and I couldn't feel any like negative
hostility
feelings
or anything. Exactly.
between them or something like that. And then she was saying that, well, we shouldn't even have bought the house because it was bad even before.
Right.
It sounded like it was bad for some time, and they only bought the house because they felt it got better.
I mean, a house does help. If you're having marital problems, you can't talk to each other, you can't stand each other, you buy a house.
So well, then she said that, and then I felt like, wow, that's like a lot. And then I said, I hope you get along for the kids' sake. And they said, yeah, we try to, but he's not talking to me, and none of his family is talking to me anymore because I'm the bad one, because I wanted to separate and he didn't. And then she told me, though, about the background, that one thing is that she didn't feel like she loved him anymore, and they were just friends in the end, or just cohabiting.
Okay.
The other is that she was telling me that at the end she felt like, she told him, I want to go to couples therapy to just give it last try. And he apparently just went to his mom, and his mom made an appointment for a psychiatrist for her by herself. And the mother-in-law, then told the mother, her to go on antidepressant because something is wrong with her.
Wow. And is the mother-in-law, is she like a registered psychiatrist or psychologist? No, of course not. She's just a busybody, huh?
She's just butting in there, I think. So yeah, and she felt like this is not happening, or this is not working. And then she also told me at some point, she told me at some point that she was out with her friends like once, and then her mother-in-law called her up and just, gave her, and run her for her money. Utställning.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's like, wow. I mean, that's exactly reading her the riot act. Well, that's not any fun, actually, being in that kind of situation. So I can understand that your friend was, not feeling so positive and great about being there.
No, I feel like the worst betrayal is from her partner.
Yeah.
Because that you have a horrible mother-in-law, I think a lot of people can end up in this situation. I'm not one of them, but a lot of people can end up with really bad mother-in-laws because you're choosing your partner, but the mother-in-law or father-in-law, they just come along, like you get them for free, so you can't get rid of them. But then your partner should. I feel like the partner should just step up. What do you think, Ed?
I think it's difficult because.
Difficult how? What's he supposed to?
No, I mean, okay. So it's difficult because you would expect and want him to sort of be there and to stand up for her and take her side.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's another dynamic working here because, the influence of the mother is really strong.
Yeah.
And if you think about if you get married to someone, okay, like I have my mom and stuff like that, but at some point, my mom's just not part of this relationship. I don't want to be like making love to my wife and my mom's just right there. You're doing it all wrong. I mean, at some point you have to sort of decide that you have to take responsibility. And it seems like since he's not taking responsibility and he's taking the advice from his mom, then I would expect someone in that situation to be able to stand up for their partner.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. And oh my gosh,
yeah, but that's what I said. I'm listening to you.
I in that conversation when I was there, I told them like I think a man who's like 35 or something should be able to have cut your umbilical cord at some point.
Yeah, but exactly. But that's your expectation of someone because you're
normal.
No, it's not. It's only normal if you have developed normally. If you have a normal, mature psychology.
Yeah, normal
ego.
is what the majority is or is doing. That's what's normal is. It's what's norm.
How old is her husband?
What?
How old is her husband?
He turns 33 this year.
Oh my gosh, he's just too young to be mature. Okay.
What you was talking about?
No, because young men nowadays are not raised to be men who take responsibility, who actually can make sacrifice, and who you can depend upon. I mean, nowadays, if I'm going to choose, so I'm walking through the jungle, a lion can eat me. I have a choice, a nice, young, kind, modern man or an old macho idiot. I take the old macho idiot because he's going to lay down his life. He's going to fight the lion. Don't worry about it. Run. I'll take care of the lion myself. And he walks out there and he's like wrestling with the lion and trying to beat up the lion. The lion's trying to bite him. And he's biting back. The modern guy, he's like, oh my gosh, I could die. I'll hide behind the girl. And he pushes the girl in front of him. And he's like, save me. I don't know what to do. All my big muscles can't help me.
Jonas wouldn't do that though.
No. Eunice would go like, I guess we're both going to die.
Yes. Equality on all levels of life.
He's like, I can't just sacrifice myself, but I can sacrifice both of us. Because that would be even.
Tell the kids to run.
Exactly.
No. No bad mouthing my husband.
No, but I think that if you expect... So I think this problem where modern men want to play games longer. So before in like just a generation ago, it wasn't expected for a man to continue to playing games. I mean, once you became a man, and there was things you did when you were a boy, and now boys just like until you're 40. Like,
until someone straightens you out, or you'll be a boy forever.
Oh yeah, exactly. So you're like 45. You're like, oh, but I just love this Mario go-kart. It's so exciting.
Oh,
I
you're
have to
so
play
old.
15 hours a day.
You're so old.
Okay,
so
sorry, Minecraft?
Oh, God.
Minecraft?
No, not even that. All the
Okay,
shooting
War
games.
of Warcraft?
Yeah, things like that.
Okay. Yes,
How do you defend your manhood, Mikael? But I think Mikael would be some guy who would fight the lion. He would even fight the lion. Even if the lion wouldn't attack him.
He'd be jumping on the lion's back going like, all right, let's go riding. And then the lion will smell his feet and be like, oh, gosh. What do you say? Just get those feet away from me.
So, Mikael, what's your opinion?
Miko walks around barefoot a lot of times, so I make fun of him. They're like hard like
for
iron.
me, when I talk to my family, there is a lot of difficult situations all the time, and I listen to everyone because I have 6 siblings. And
a lot of opinions to take in.
It's a lot of listening training.
Exactly. So everyone has their own different story and their own perspective, and it could. Some similar, but there are also a lot of different pictures of what really happened.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's
difficult.
Yeah, it's very difficult. What kind of opinion I need? Probably the man's perspective. The reason why.
Obviously, you always now we only got one side of the story.
Exactly.
And with him not being so eager to separate, I think I could imagine he's really oblivious. He's like, I don't understand it. We have a good life.
Yeah, but you said something that she had been thinking about this for a long time, and that's so typical that often when a couple separates, when a couple separates, one of them has already been planning, thinking about this,
for a long time,
casting it around in their head for a long time. Without talking to their partner, hey, there's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like maybe I don't know if we should be in this together. And what happens is they just because there's no communication.
Yeah.
So what happens is the person just drops this bomb, which the other person is just like, what do you mean? I thought everything was great. You never said anything before.
Yeah.
And then the other person is just like, oh, but I said stuff. Blah, blah, blah. And so what happens is that doesn't really help couples to stay together. If you really want to save your marriage, you're going to have to be better communicating.
Yeah.
And when you feel bothered by something, you have to bring it up. The longer you wait, the less likely you'll be able to solve that problem and move on.
But then you guys always complain, no, well, women are always nagging. They're always nagging.
Yeah, because nagging is not... Okay, here we go again. We have to define our terms. Nagging... Okay, so listen. If we won't just say women. We'll just say your spouse, the female one, comes into the room and she's like, what are you watching? He's like, oh, I'm watching the Swedish national team. They're about to win. In another 5 minutes, we'll find out if they win the championship. He's all into it. And then she's like, well, you never give me any time or attention. I don't know why you watching that TV. You look at all those men walking around playing football and something like that. And
is that a nagging thing?
Wait. And he's into the game. Like, it's not like she said, hey, let's schedule a time. Oh, look, it's that time now. We're supposed to be talking. Cut off the TV. No. While he's watching it into the game, she comes in and she expects him to now be very, very
focused
on what is now this thing that she's just come up out of the blue with. And then when he says he's like, you're not listening to me. Why don't you ever listen to me? And she's like, now she starts talking about something totally different. She never gets to the point and everything. 20 minutes later, he didn't get a chance to see the end of the game. He's really sour. He's in a bad mood. She's sour. She's in a bad mood. It's just escalated. And now they're going to sleep, one on the couch, one in the bedroom. Nobody's getting any love that night.
Are you speaking from experience?
No, never happened to me because I'm a different kind of man. But I do know men that has happened to.
Oh my gosh. So this is nagging for you. Okay, so do you mean you have to schedule time with your spouse?
No.
Like, hey, do you have time next Wednesday, 3 p.m.?
No, because that wouldn't work either. If a guy took out his telephone and said, well, I really would like to talk to you, but let's put it on my calendar. Oh. It's over now. Now you and I, we're going out to the pit. I got the alligator in there. We're going to see which one's going to survive. No. So, but I think in the situation, you have a situation where one person says, "Oh, the relationship is so bad for me, whatever," and there are times when that's true. In a lot of cases, though, it's one person who's not getting their way, but they're not communicating their frustration, not communicating their problem. The other person's unaware there's a problem because they're functioning from, if there was a problem, you would tell me. Mm-hmm. And then, so now you have, in this case, the guy who doesn't want to get a divorce, the woman who wants to get a divorce. So obviously they haven't really worked through this problem.
No, I don't know.
And I feel like, listen, if I'm not feeling it, but my partner really wants to stay in the relationship, I've invested in that person. They invested in me. I made a decision.
They've been together for 9 years.
Yeah,
and they have 2 children together.
You made a decision to get married to that person. So I feel like in that case, when you know that you're not feeling it, but your partner is, my advice would be, go get some help and talk about it.
She tried to, though. She said that. She said, like, hey, I want to go to couples therapy. And he went to his mom. And his mom made an appointment for her and told her, you should go on antidepressants because you are not feeling well.
That's what I mean. I mean, obviously, like, is this the first time he's gone to his mom?
Probably not.
And then that would be like, okay, shocking. Oh, I didn't know he was a mama's boy. But then
they've been together for 9 years. I think it shows at some point.
Exactly. So when you do that, it's like people who want to get marriage advice and they call me up and they're like, Ed, I have this advice and I want to know what the Bible says. I'm like, why did you call me? You already know you're not living by what the Bible says. You call me. You already know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear you say. I'm like, no, because now you're getting mad at me because I'm telling you what you asked me to tell you about.
Which you already know.
Which you already know what you're supposed to do. And so I feel like in this situation, when she told him, she probably knew in the back of her mind, he's gonna tell his mama, and now his mama is gonna get all in my business. And then she does that. She's like,
so?
You know what? I can't be with you because your mom's always in my business. Like, I didn't know that you're gonna do that.
Really? You sound so mean.
I'm not mean.
Yes,
I'm analyzing a relationship without being emotionally attached to it. So there's no right or wrong for me. It's just looking at the thing and just going, okay, well, this is what you've done. Can you own that? This is what you've done. Can you own that? Mm-hmm. You can't convince me that someone, if they've been married for 9 years, just turns out that, oh, my husband's a mama's boy.
No. I don't believe that either. I just think it's really...
So she's not, I mean, she's not owning her part in the story.
Yeah, but that's usually but that's really typical for people, though, because when they tell about that, obviously you always want to look good, or you don't want to be the villain in the story.
I do.
I mean, people are not going around.
I am the villain.
If they get divorced and they cheated, they're like, you know what, we got divorced because I cheated,
Yeah.
and I can understand.
I'm sorry, I just couldn't keep my pants up, and so I decided to go out and cheat. Just like, I wasn't even about love. It was just like, I just wanted to see if I could do it still. Like, I still had it. Because then I was like, ooh, I feel so good about myself. Then I start feeling guilty. And then, and I got caught. And then,
so
I'm like, I don't know why I sabotaged my relationship. I'm like, okay, that's true. People don't usually go that far.
No, they don't.
Owning it. Sorry, I'm really a jerk. And so I sabotaged the best relationship of my life. Yeah, I deserve this. Don't feel sorry for me. Condemn me instead. Never happens.
It's not happening, no. I think that the saddest thing for me is, though, that when she said that, like, I asked her, how are the children doing? Because the older boy, he is turning 5 this year, and the younger boy, I think, is turning 3. So, or it turned 3, and they're still really young. And but even the older boy, he was asking, why aren't you living with daddy anymore, and why do I have to shuffle between these 2 apartments?
Yeah, I mean, 5 years old is kind of, that's tough. That's really young.
They'll remember.
Oh, yeah.
They'll remember.
With resentment. There's some interest coming on that one, like, okay, so you people thought what was best for me was that you shuffle me. Now, what was best for me is that you buy me a house. And then you move in and you move out.
Exactly.
I get my own room. I get to go by. Everything is the same for me.
Yeah.
You people need to work a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Making my life better,
Yeah.
But parents are so selfish, they don't even think that.
No.
Because they're always looking, well, what would really be best for our kids is that we put them between 2 different places every other week so they have no consistency in their life, because that's what makes kids crazy. I mean, that makes kids okay.
No, but they're always putting themselves more like, oh, but it's better to have a happy parent. It's better to have a happy parent than a miserable parent. And I'm
that's true. That helps, but
I don't know.
In this case, So even that now when they're divorced, they make that decision. To me, it just seems like I think there's some selfishness going on here. There was a lack of communication. There was this whole expectation of holding someone responsible for something that you never even communicated to them was
but
a
we
problem.
don't know that.
We don't know that.
We don't know that.
I know it.
We don't know that.
I have
if she
inside
did or
information
not.
because I'm declaring it right now. So that's just the way it is. Because what I say, but I think that, but I do feel like if we could get both sides of the story, then we would have the truth somewhere in the middle.
True.
And it would be like, do you know the guy? Can you talk to him?
No, I only met him at the birthday party once.
Well, see, you know him.
I called him. Hey, I heard that your ex told me about. Is this true?
No,
What?
you would say, hey, I'm really sorry. I just found out that you guys are divorced.
Separated.
Why don't you talk to me and tell me what it's like?
No,
How's it going?
what? It's
How's
really
it going for you?
weird.
Because I'm not sticking my nose into your business, so our podcast can get more listeners.
This is not of my business. I don't know what's wrong.
It
with
is your
that.
business.
No.
It is your business to make sure that we have juicy bits, so that more people,
Juicy bits.
so that more people will listen to our podcast. Lynn, do your job.
Wow. I have so many real life stories that I could share next time. Wow. But I think it's good that we brought this up here because in the beginning I felt like, well, obviously it's the dude that's the jerk. Because let me finish.
It's like the butler story. So the butler that kills somebody.
Because I always felt like, what if this guy would just stand up for himself and just tell his mom to butt out? But even before we record now, I told Mikael that even though they would end up separating, at least he would take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
Like he could say, okay, I didn't work hard enough, or I didn't want to, or I
tired of you.
Yeah, whatever. Like, but now it's like his mom butted in there, and like I don't know. At some point, you have to figure it out yourself. And your mom, even though she sees it crumbling down, she should just zip.
Well, okay. Advice to parents. This is advice from the great, all-powerful, wise Wizard of Oz. That once your child gets married, you cannot take sides. You either work for the couple,
for
the good of the couple, or you shut up. And I don't mean to be rude by saying shut up, but I mean like when you open your mouth and you take sides, you butt in. All you're doing is showing how much contempt you have for the person that your child chose to spend the rest of their life with. It shows you have a contempt for your child's decision-making process, and you have contempt for the person that they chose to spend the rest of their life with. You have a problem. You need to get that fixed. You need to ring Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil, if you hear that, Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil, and make sure that your millions of viewers know about us. And so,
oh my God.
And so, but you understand how the way I'm thinking about that is that that's one problem. So parents should be, they should never butt in to take sides. And then the other thing is that if you're not willing to manage the relationship, you always have parents. They are important, what they think is important. But if you don't feel like you can manage that, if you don't feel that when push comes to shove, and you have to choose a side, if you feel, okay, there are times when you would probably choose your family, but I'm just saying like in a normal argument or something like that, or disagreement, if you feel that you would take your parent's side over your spouse or the potential spouse, don't get married. You've already shown that person doesn't mean enough to you. I know that's hard advice, huh?
No, I'm just contemplating about what it means. Like,
well,
before.
sorry. This is a scientific equation. I will break it down for you.
No, but
normal language.
I have another input here because Nomi's dog mama. What is that in English? Dog mama. We
don't have day moms.
No, day moms.
Because a day mom sounds like something. That's just a really weird. We don't want to get there with that podcast.
Okay, a caretaker for your kids.
Yeah, it would be like someone who has like a
teacher.
No, it would be like having like because Nomi's still preschool, so she hasn't started school age yet. So it'd be like someone who has a private preschool in their home.
Yeah.
Or babysitter, we would probably call them too. So
no, they're not babysitter. I just call her.
But no, we would call them like even though they're teaching the kids.
Educator.
Educator. No, not educator.
Dog mama. I will use the Swedish word.
Okay, we use the Swedish
not
word.
Kill ourselves.
And we don't mean dog D-O-G. We mean dog D-A-G, which is the word for day. So this is the mother that you leave your children with to watch them during the day while you go out to work.
Yeah. So dog mama. Yes. Dog, not dog.
Yeah.
Dog mama. So
Mom for the day.
Like one of her sons, she told me, like, because they were living there and it was kind of messy, and she was explaining to me why it was messy, and she was saying, well, one of her sons just got separated or divorced, and him and his children were living there as well, together with her and her husband, so it was a bit crowded.
Wow.
And then she said some things about the ex that, well, she wasn't really nice, and things that she felt before they got married, like that this was not a good pick.
So before they got married, they were already living with their in-laws? Well, she was
No.
Okay.
No, she was just explaining to me, like,
Okay.
why she thinks those two separated. And then she explained to me, like, oh, this lady, she's a bit special, she's a bit weird, and la la, and how...
The mother, or...
No, like the ex. The ex.
Okay.
And then I said, like, well, why didn't you tell your son before they got married? And she's like, no, I don't want to get involved. Like, I don't want to say, like, she felt like the way that you described it, that she felt like, I don't want to butt in, you know?
You're right.
It's like, they're adults, they should figure it out.
Right.
But I felt like, but I told her, but as a parent, before they get married, you have a right to express your opinion. I feel like it before they get married. I mean, after they get.
Sorry. I'm going to protect Numi from you.
No, but
in the times, like,
okay,
don't go to your mom. Go to
me.
me.
My point is this: before people make major decisions, I think parents have a right to butt in and just tell their opinion once, not like convincing you of something else or whatever. And if you still decide against their advice, then they should still like support you in that, because it's your advice.
Wow.
Or it's your decision.
This is so weird on so many different...
It's not weird.
Yeah, because it's like half Swedish, half something else. I don't even know where to put this one. I don't know what box to put it into. I'm confused, Lynn.
So why don't you like my stand? Because I stand on Jesus. Why don't you like Jesus?
I'm sorry, apostle, anointed apostle of God. I should have listened to you. All wisdom comes from your head. Oh, I hope not either. No, but I think that because, like, I think what I'm thinking about is like, so when as a parent can you truly, when do you have the right to butt in? So I think like if you know something, the hard thing is that if you haven't maintained a good relationship with your child, especially as they become an adult and stuff like that, your butting in is not going to help anything. So like if you're able to make the transition to have the adult relationship with your adult child, where you can still talk about things, but you don't have an expectation that your child has to listen to you. So we think like when they're small, they have to listen. It's like as long as you're living in this house, my house, my rules. Okay, so you know who you listen to.
As long as you put your legs under my table.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that one. As long as you put your legs under my table. No, I like as long as you live under the roof of this house. It sounds more authoritative.
Okay, anyway. Yeah,
sorry.
So they are supposed to listen to you. Yeah. But when I said it, I felt like I'm talking from like you have a healthy relationship with your kids.
If you have a healthy relationship with your kids, then I think because your kids are used to you sharing things and talking with you, they're used to sometimes even seeking your advice about things. And as long as they know that what you're saying comes from love, so
care.
Yeah, because I mean sometimes kids will marry people that you totally you're like what? Where did I go wrong?
What did they teach you?
I thought I was getting an A.
Drop you too often on the head.
Yeah, I thought I was getting an A at the parent school. Now I just found I got a double F. You know, it's like, oh, what was that you just brought in? It was like all wrapped up like a mummy. Come here. Ooh. And so I think that that we have to trust our parenting, you know, and know that I know. And know that our children.
You?
Sure, I do. I was a great dad. I don't know what happened to my children though, but they didn't pass the exam. Okay, I love you guys. I'm just kidding. And so I think that one of the big problems there is that when a parent butts in and they don't have that healthy relationship
to stand on.
Yeah, because it does sound like, okay, you're just trying to control me. And
the thing is like, if you don't have a good relationship, they will reject anything you say.
Yeah, and they might do the opposite. Now they're really going to go for the mummy guy, or mummy girl. And it was like, oh. But I also think that sometimes you need to make sure that you can back up what you're saying.
Yeah, you cannot just like, oh, I don't like her atmosphere. Or like, he doesn't have a job, so no.
Exactly.
So I was like, yeah, but he'll get a job. Like, no.
Well, no. You know what? I was watching this show, and it was about people who are homeless from Sweden. So this Swedish girl goes to Hollywood, meets some American guy who's homeless and a drug addict. What does she do? She becomes a homeless drug addict with him. I'm like,
what?
And the person said, but you could go back to Sweden any time. You don't have to live on the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can't come to Sweden with me. I'm like, I will leave your homeless butt and get back to Sweden and give me some rehabilitation for free. I'm like, yes. No, but I mean, but sometimes people make decisions and they buying their lives to other people. And of course, as a parent, you don't want to see your child buying themselves up to someone who is not good for them. The problem is that, especially in the Western world, is that children, I don't know where they get the idea from, but they often think that parents stop loving them when they become an adult.
Really? Where did you get that? Where did you get that from?
Well, because my children said no. No. But I mean, if you look at like the type of movies that are shown, if you look at the way the kids act, so I interact with a lot of young adults, and what I've noticed is that when their parents say, like our parents will say, oh, that was a really interesting person you brought by the house. Your mom and I, or your dad and I, are a little worried because, when he went past, he smelled like pot.
He didn't say hi.
No, he just smelled and he looked like he was high. And so, I mean, are you hanging with someone who's doing like weed all the time? Mm-hmm. And you don't get into my life. You have to trust me. Like, but listen, are they smoking weed or not? Just tell me the truth.
You're 19. I don't know if I can trust your judgment.
Yeah, and so it becomes, it's sometimes it can just go to opposite thing. But I think that if you're young and you're looking to make such a big decision, you should have as many people around you, even if not sure that they love you. They think they love you. Take some advice. Like, don't be so prideful that you can't take other people's advice, and you have to be open for the truth. And often when people aren't open for the truth, so you marry a person who's a mama's boy. They are always a mama's boy.
And if the mama is not on your side, you've got a problem.
And then people have probably warned you and you didn't listen. And now your pride kicks in because you can't tell them that, oh, I'm sorry, you were really right all the time. And so now you got to stick this out. And so you stick it out and you're miserable all the time because this person is just a wacky mama's boy. You can't trust them. And then when you finally feel like you have enough, you take the first good excuse that you can. Yeah. And you're like, that's good enough for me. See ya. Exit. But, if you had taken the advice in the beginning, when people are like, he's a mama's boy, you better watch it. Mom is laying herself in all the business. Mom's got a spy camera in the bedroom.
Oh my gosh.
and so you have to, but you didn't listen to them. And you didn't take that advice. And you don't want to admit how stupid you were.
True that.
So.
But I feel like I'm blessed because Jonas' mom is usually on my side because I'm sane and he's insane.
Jeez, I'm going to have to balance that out.
And also,
I'm on Eunice's side. Okay.
Yeah, sure. You can do that.
Yeah, but you don't care what I think.
What? But also, that from my mom's side, I mean, I felt like many times when she says things, she's just putting more wood into a fire for the bad things. Like when I complain to her, she's the one, he's like that and this, and I'm like,
okay.
And then I felt like, okay, I can't tell her this stuff anymore because she's not helping. This is not helping. This is just making it worse.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, why do you, if you know your mom's like that, why do you complain to her? It's like,
no, but it was for a time. Then I realized it's not good for our marriage. So I just shut up. I don't tell her this stuff. I tell someone else who will not give me bad advice.
And that's a mature thing to do. That's a smart thing to do like that. Yeah. You realize that sometimes
I'm smart.
I take it back. You're dumb as a rock,
Thank you, Ed.
It's all with love,
sorry. Yeah, you wanted to expand your that was the better decision to do that.
Yeah, and it really is, because I think that sometimes you just got to do the right thing for your marriage. And sometimes the right thing for your marriage is distance to people who you love because they're toxic for your marriage.
Yeah.
You know? So,
I mean, and she does it out of concern. It's not like, oh, I hate this guy. I want you guys to break up. Not at all. I mean, he's the father of her grandchildren.
Right.
So obviously she wants us to be a family, to work well. But she can also get all caught up in her feelings. I'm like, this is not helping.
Yeah, exactly.
This is really not helping.
Exactly. No, and I think that I really wish parents would just learn. I mean, okay, if you're a parent and you're struggling with how to interact with your adult child, we do counseling. You know, we do the whole Zoom thing. It does cost a lot. We're like, I don't know, we're like $75 an hour.
Wow,
right?
now you lost all our listeners.
I know. People would be like, you got to put me. Nah, I don't have time to book you in. You crazy. You know, I don't like that cray. You know?
Cray.
No, but I think that sometimes you need to get help to help you or to gain the tools that you need to interact with your adult children. And sometimes parents just want to keep their children little, especially the youngest one. If you don't have another baby after your tie, oh my gosh, we have to we have to use a crowbar and pry that boy away from you. Get away from your mom! You're just making me a mama's boy.
He's going to be mama's boy.
No, we're praying for him every single day. God, please protect him.
No, he's not going to be a mama's boy. I don't think so. Because I always thought my brother would be a mama's boy, but he is not.
Sold? No, he's not.
No, but he usually goes home and like hugs mom, like, Mama, hold me home. I'm like, dude, you should get a girlfriend.
Wow.
Wow. You're too old for this.
Wow. Jeez, Mom, why don't you pick me up in your arms or rock me? I can't get to sleep.
Not like that.
I just ate some food. Could you please pat my back so I can get a little burping going on?
Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode about real life story.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you will keep talking about this forever.
No, I won't.
Okay, what's your final word on this?
I'm a really shy person.
What's your final word on this?
Lynn, I really love doing these podcasts with you.
Thanks. Me too. I really love doing this with myself as well.
With myself. Wow. I get no acknowledgement. I like doing these podcasts with myself. Oh, are you here, Ed? No.
No, I enjoy doing this podcast with you too. And we also thank our guest.
Thank you, Mikael, for being quiet in the corner. and
just listening.
Just letting us rave. Mikael's over going like, I can't keep up with this. I don't know.
But he shared his opinion that he didn't hear all of the sides of the story, so he can't make a judgment call. And
that's because he's wise. He's not stupid like us. We'll make judgment calls anyway.
I make all the time.
I'm like, no evidence? That's okay. I make a judgment
left
call.
And right. Left
exactly.
and right.
We'll make up stuff as we go along just to make the story interesting. No. All right, everyone. As you know, we're in the summer months now. We thank you for following us. Lynn and I will be making more stuff, especially
more podcasts. Send us your stories. People send us your stories.
Yes. And we really are grateful for people who share their stories with us, which also helps us to form the podcast. And even though we may joke a lot about a lot of stuff, we really do care about everybody. I mean, we are really serious about helping people. So if we can help you in any kind of way or just make you laugh at yourself, then I guess we've done our mission. It's done.
Yes.
Goodbye, Felicia.
Goodbye, Felicia, and hear you soon again.
Yes. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot for listening to
Fika for Life. Thank you for listening. If you have any comments or ideas, please send us a message to fikaforlife@mail.com. Fika, F-I-K-A. This was the Fika for Life podcast with Linh and Edward Thomas, and we hope to hear you again.